Good morning. How you all doing today? This week? Happy Monday. Market had to open down right? After that crazy run. Makes sense. Uh, just looking at, we'll start with SPX here. Um, forgetting news revolving around why the run and so on, just technically, the basics here, wide range bar igniting at 3 o'clock and a wide range bar ending into the close. So that rapid move that happened after 3:30 that pushed up supposedly around some options trade and excuse me and yeah. And as I said, just looking at the charts, it would have made sense that things are going to stall not only from a wide range bar perspective on the daily chart, but up into an area of resistance. Looking at the intraday chart, typically that results in a slowing of momentum. It doesn't mean the end of the trend. And this had better not go back down here. This is a crazy kind of market, but, shock patterns are about the unexpected. So this is a similar situation on the chart. Not exactly because, you know, the run here, this more of a momentum run, not that this didn't have a momentum run, but it was just the beginning of a pullback, whereas this one had, bounce off of the 20 and then back down to the 50 here. But it did have a bottoming tail bar and a wider range bar into resistance. And so is something we certainly will be looking for today as to how much selling actually comes in, in the morning. Ideally, right, even whenever this is down a bit, we'll look at the spiders and the futures, as we always do. Our factory work, it stays in the upper 50%. So a gap down is okay with a pattern like this, momentum run up into resistance. And, so we'll just see how far it goes. Ideally, it's choppy. And just based on this price action, again, forgetting news events, what made it happen, so on and so forth, just technically, this thing better hit 4,000 this week and maybe better. If not, I think something's, wrong. It was just a weird situation. This option trade that drove things up in the last hour of the day, because on Friday morning, when we did the pre-market, I said, looking at the charts, my expectation was for a range day. And it's exactly what we had until that last hour and then the half hour of the day. So even, up into 3:30, it was just a range day. And then when it didn't go down at the top of the range, it exploded higher. So I think whatever that option trade was, somebody must have been sweating and then just hit the puke button right at the end of the day there. So anyway, the charts is what we base our bias on. And we've got a wide range bar coming off of a pullback. It can stall here, but eventually that says it should go higher. And the weekly chart is still bullish, but it's going sideways for a while. Looking at spiders just to see where they are as far as the gap down. Got bad ticks in there. I don't know. McGraw would have to tell us was the gamma gun or not, but I don't think so. I don't think so. He actually sent me some information based on that gamma service about this options trade over the weekend. And so it just seemed like, okay, here's a piece of information that some hedge fund or whatever, right? Probably hedge fund because of the size of the trade, had to execute a trade. And, when that starts to happen, everybody's looking at their positions. Everybody has their own individual stops or bias or this and that. And that triggers other funds and traders to act. So it feeds on itself. Now that news is out, and here we are, things are gapping down a bit, not really a big deal. We see how that information dissipates throughout the trading day. And so whether this just turns out to be some kind of a freak situation, let's just say, where, maybe it could be a situation where things come back down like this, we don't know, or whether, things just chop around here and it gets digested and then pushes higher as the chart suggests it should. So we'll see. So 394, gapping down, a bit there, was down to 393. So it was down quite a bit. Now it's coming back up, and it went up to 395. So some wide whipping intraday morning moving there. All right. Good morning, McGraw. So plenty of resistance over here. So SPX, as far, I usually look at the futures, but I think we can do it here. SPX. I think this gap down makes, above 4,000. I couldn't quite call it a no-brainer, and it's a small amount of premium, 40 cents by 55 cents. I think 4,005 should be a no-brainer today. If you want to do 4,000 it's 60 by 75. I don't think I'd get closer than that. And the put side here, you can go below 3,900, which I think is a gift, right? As much, we can say things seem like they shouldn't go down there, but, I'm looking at this day and saying, could this day be in store for us? And if it is, of course, we wouldn't want that, but we don't know what's going to happen. We just look at what is right now. And so we'll get to the futures in a moment, but 3,900, the premium right now is $1.15 by $1.35. So we could go down, 38.85, 38.80, which, as much as I could say, I think it's safe. It's got to go through Friday's low, got to get through the 20 and so on. So, I look at what I believe to be a sure bet with these things. And, I think that's as close as we've seen in the past, as close to a sure bet. Now, let's go to the futures. We see this looks like it could be ready to take the next leg down, which if it does and it gets down there, it's pre-market. Let's go. Okay. So excuse the banging here, folks. That's the low there. So let's just drag this up here. Well, buyer should be up there. So it came down to this little shelf of support, and it jiggled and jiggled and jiggled, and bottoming tail bars, and it couldn't lift off, which makes sense after a drop like that. You can see the wide range bar igniting from the double top there. So once it comes down to some level of support and it can't lift off, at some points, buyers begin to say, hey, this thing's not going. Let me just scratch this thing or take a small loss. And it looks like it could drive it down there. Anyway, as always, we're going to wait, 5 minutes or so at the open just to see what kind of jiggles occur. That's what I was 38.60. 38.60. No, there's nothing at 38.60. Nothing worth, I guess you put on a big position, but 20 cents by 35 cents, 38.85. Right, 38.85 is 65 cents by 75 cents, which I think should be okay. It's below this low, which under normal conditions, prices would never get down there. And that's what we're looking for, right? That's what we're looking for with a put spread. I don't care if it goes sideways, if it goes into a coma, If it goes up, all the better. Right? It's a non-directional trade from the point of view of just don't go down there today, please. That's all it's about. Well, I don't want to make light of it, especially with SPX, but you know, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a sure way to the poorhouse. Okay. Dow consolidating at the top of the range, bottoming tail bar, poke down there, 3,200, pop back up at resistance, just hanging out here, normal. And I think a consolidation day would be just fine. Not exciting, not really a big moneymaker as far as day trading. If you're trading the E-minis to try and, participate in smaller ranges, but be good as far as the market being able to go higher. Right. Qs, NASDAQ futures, dead in the water, just chopping inside the range there. No real difference at all. Russell was the hated one last week, right? All the way back down to major support. Right? This is not supposed to happen. When you get a momentum move like that, that clears prior resistance. And in the newsletter over the weekend, I said about the S&P is getting above 4,000. I said, I'd like to see it happen with authority. This pushed above that high with authority. It was a momentum move. And so it was supposed to pull back, consolidate, go higher, but it gave it all back. And so that's obviously not what's supposed to happen. It's bearish, but buyers stepped up. That's normal, right? You fall that far, that fast into support, people are going to buy, and they did. So now it's kind of stuck up at the prior resistance and trading range for now. If they can get above here, probably tags the 20 and this congestion right up there, step by step. But the depth of retracement suggests it's not going back up there, not without some kind of backing and filling. So what am I explaining here? A bias. We can start thinking about things that, if this happens, I'll make this money. Well, does the chart support that happening? And if it doesn't, don't think it unless things change. Bonds up a little bit here, right? Not a big deal. That's a 30-year. This is the 10-year, right? Same kind of pattern. And crude oil, the current contract, my daily data is messed up. And anyway, that's going nowhere. Another go nowhere start to the week. And gold sure looks like it's going to drop. Look at the weekly here. So maybe a retest pattern, it would actually be a good thing. See if it get a retest and reversal. But right now, it's not doing anything. Silver on the 200 there on support, not doing anything. Pretty boring start to the week here. And wow, all new highs there. Looks great. So, one of the things I said on Friday, whatever's going on, pull back in the Russell that deep, whatever what was underperforming, you can't get too bearish with transports making new all-time highs. So anyway, overall, things look like they should go higher. Let's hope that we don't get some kind of nasty reversal like we saw back with this 2-bar reversal. And if we get a consolidation day or two here, that supports a bias that they're going to go higher from there. SMH, sure. I mean, there were a lot of patterns similar to this where, they came down, they broke trends at resistance, looked like going to get a retest, and, this huge bar on Friday, but right up into resistance there. You had, This XLK, we talked about last week, head and shoulder type of a bottom or a smaller head and shoulders type of a top. Which way is it going to go? Now we got this wide range bar. So the wide range bars that we saw all over the place that occurred toward the end of the day, some stocks were rallying like AMAT throughout the day. So they weren't like a half hour situation that happened and in a moment, like a weird kind of thing. So these wide range bars support a bias even for what's been unloved. They won't go down as much right now. I don't know how much they'll go up, but suggest they're not going to go down on the short term. And we'll see how they consolidate this gain over the next day or so. For a brief period to the last crash, you were looking daily market breadth and sentiment and said, start to watching ourselves. You nailed it then. Is the market looking to extend on that basis? Well, the internals aren't kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Let me find that chart. Oh, wrong platform. So breadth is neutral, but what I explained at the end of the day on the green room on Friday was that the breadth was actually what was supposed to happen on a wide range bar. The moving average came down toward the green bands because the moving average is dropping off some lower information. That's right. The sentiment numbers, but the breadth is neutral. So, even if this comes in today and this pulls back, we got to see what happens today. Right? How does it digest? How does it digest Friday, or does it collapse? Who knows? We'll see. We'll figure it out during the day. All right. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, we had a bullish bias, but as Greg said, that crazy end of day rally, I would love to get one or two inside days. There was a lot of bullish patterns from when we were scanning over the weekend. I got a couple new trade alarms going off, so even when the market gapped down, that's telling me they're strong. In the FANG department, I'm watching Apple here holding beautifully. Look at that pre-market chart, upper left. So the big run into the close. And if you pretended that the market was still open from Friday, this pre-market is very bullish right there. I see Facebook holding. We have that as a put spread idea over Friday's high. So yeah, our open positions are pretty much fine here. Remember the big story of the day though today is we were watching these things collapse, these media companies, and then as we know, it's all over the news this morning, big family office, margin call. And we're pattern traders and we do what we do, and we nailed the entry. Volatility is probably going to stay very high in those because now they're splattered all over the media, which is fine. We'll do more. So we hit not the whole sector, but the three biggest ones. We saw put spreads on VIAC, DISCA, and look, that's fine. Even with it being splattered all over the news, it's fairly flat opening. That's a good sign. When I first saw the news, I'm like, oh no, I hope we don't have a $10 gap down. In which case, if we did, 30-minute high, I'd be looking to add. And so I think we're going to have some good action in these for a while. And I'm even watching these for a 30-minute high to do a directional. Say Jose, SPR, AAP. Yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I like it. I'd like it better if it had a didn't have those overlapping bars, but I love gap reversals like that. AAP, it's strong. I mean, look at that monthly breakout. So yeah, it's gapping up, 30-minute high, I'd say. I'm not rushing into anything, which is pretty typical for IDRA and IRM. I'm not crazy about bottom fishing like that, not unless you get a something bar. This one is superior. Bullish uptrend, you got railroad tracks, 20 and 50. That one to me is superior to that other little bottom fisher. ABT, Steve. It's right at this prior high. I think we can find better. And there was a lot of like intelligent bottom fishing setups. A number of them we put in the weekend letter. And I'm having problems with TradeStation here today. Look at all these symbols and I'm getting no data. And I already logged off and on. Thomas Alley, Dell back. Alley, that's range bounds. Dell was on my list. Yeah, Dell's was on my weekend scanning list. And back, yeah, some of these banks are getting whacked. I'm gonna watch Morgan Stanley. Back could be a day trade, gapping down to Friday's low, target price void. Yeah, back is a great little day trade idea. MS, $77. So that's a bearish gap, but the support, that'd be a good maybe call spread candidate or 30-minute low. But yeah, some of these banks are getting whacked on. They're saying the exposure to this hedge fund guy, Credit Suisse, the biggest one, gapping down to 11. And the weekly, well, here's 11 down here. I mean, look at that on a weekly. You know, I ignore prices. I look at candlesticks. That's a big old gap. Are you kidding me? I think it'll probably flush a little bit more into the gap fill, maybe 1050. I'm not saying to short it. I'm talking about more of where there might be support. Bam. Yeah. Yeah, that's very bullish consolidation. We're going to be talking about MT Live Wednesday's retracements. And so this is a great example, greater than 100% retracement and time consolidation. So that's very bullish. I like it. I like it. Let me put it over here. Bam. Yeah, that's good. BX. It's too sloppy for me. It's range bound, but maybe put spread. Because you gotta retest here at the 20 Grammy. It's not bad. Day trade will be okay, but swing, I don't like the breakout failure over here. All right, let me continue over here. AAP we talked about. Stamp, McGraw gave that to me as a put spread idea. Sure. So McGraw 30-minute high or 15, whatever. Let's see what the options look like. Mogo was blasting here pre-market. 934, but no pattern. I'm just going to delete you. There's the Morgan we talked about. Wide range igniting on Friday, gapping way the heck up to 13. Nothing to do with it now. Bitcoin is up, so I always check the two usual suspects, Mara, Riot. That's still range bounds. And there's day trade. You know, you can always day trade if you get a good setup. But you see here that how the target's not real big. Mara, Tomorrow, I don't care about unless maybe a spread. Riot. 5150, the same. It's range bound, nothing to do. Goldman. Yep, and it's a bearish gap. I don't know. What? Tell me what you're thinking, Emmanuel. Tell me what you are thinking. Sure, go through the checklist. Let's see what it does in 10 minutes and go through the checklist. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing anything for 10 minutes. Kroger alarm. That was in the letter as a long and put spread. MA put spread over Friday's high. Our little disco stocks turning green, but like I said, just the fact that it's not a disaster is a good sign to me. Procter and Gamble looks higher. Alarm go off. Boeing was in the news. Southwest. This was a put spread idea. Here, I'm gonna just, we have a rule that says wait 5 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell the weekly options trader the Boeing put spread is a go. That no need to wait 5 minutes. So then we're only gonna get filled on a small little pullback, but Boeing looks great. Southwest said they were buying 100 airplanes from them. That was a nice gap reversal on Thursday. Oh, very nice. Like jets are holding well. Over Friday's high. I like that. I'm gonna have to watch that one a little closer. I'm gonna get rid of my RCL. Watch jets. Set alarm.